That's Tony Hancock in. Hancock's half-hour.
Tony Hancock and Sid James have applied to Her Majesty's government to run a private prison. To their surprise, they were chosen from over 1,000 applicants. Unfortunately, because he was hoping to avoid paying tax, Sid James had already adopted the name Dominic Cummings and claimed to be living next door at number 21 Railway Cuttings, the home of a Mr. Webster who is on holiday, where in fact he lives at number 23 Railway Cuttings with Inspector Hancock. They were given a trial at running a private prison, and number 21 Railway Cuttings was chosen to stage the trial. It was a success, and Her Majesty's government have decided that they continue running a prison, but numbers 21 and 23 must be knocked into one premises as it's too small. This is causing our dynamic duo a bit of a problem.
What are we gonna do, Hancock?
What are we going to do, Sid?
I don't know. What are we gonna do, Hancock? We're almost through, Inspector Hancock.
Well, that's the petition wall, Dan. Number 21 and number 23 Railway Cuttings are now officially one premises. I've changed my mind. Put it all back the way it was. Reinstate my Bijou terraced house, will you? It's too late, mate. If we stop now, the whole bloody lot will collapse. All right, go ahead. Go on, let it fall down. I'm thinking about ending it anyway. What are we going to do, Sid?
We can always ask Mr. Webster. He'll be along in a minute, won't he?
Mr. Webster, the owner, as you well know, will be along at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon, and he's expecting to self-isolate on his own for 9 days, not accompanied by his next-door neighbours and a lot of builders. Perhaps we can make up a story or something. I hope he's the gullible sort.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make up something and fast, Hancock, but I don't know what. I'm not good at making things up, am I?
So you don't make things up, do you, Dominic Cummings? Wait a minute, what about this? We could claim it was a mistake. You were hanging a picture and smashed down the petition wall. You don't know your own strength, and if he doesn't believe it, you hit him with a hammer. Hopefully he'll lose his memory and think the whole thing is a bad dream, which it is.
Yes, but he's not going to be stupid enough to believe that, is he?
Well, he's not got much of a choice, has he? He's either going to have to believe that, or believe that his home is now one half of a private prison. He'll have a nervous breakdown, poor chap, and they'll have to cart him off. He'll think the whole world's gone stark raving mad. He'll tell the doctor, and you'll end up in a padded cell with him, Sid.
What's a padded cell like?
Padded.
Hang on a sec. We'll tell him it isn't his home, and if he complains to anyone, we just say he's bonkers.
That's not going to work, is it? This isn't an episode of The Twilight Zone, Sid. He's got proof, hasn't he? He's got deeds, photographs, his whole life is here. All his personal things all over the place. You just can't erase a man's life like that. You've been watching too much of the Avengers on telly.
I've sorted all that lot out, Hancock. Mr. Webster hasn't got all his personal things. I've got them upstairs in boxes in the attic, in case Her Majesty's prison and governors saw them last week when they were running the trial.
Yes, that's all very well, Sid, but what about the neighbours? They all know he lives here, and then there's all his relatives.
I've been running a check on him, Hancock. He's a bit of a recluse by all accounts. He's single, an only child, and was adopted by wolves when he was a baby.
I didn't know that. Well, would you believe it? Fancy that. That could be useful.
Sorry, Hancock, I was making that bit up. However, the only people who actually know him are the couple at number 19 next door to him.
That's that then. They'll stick by him and he'll believe them, and so will the police. They'll think we're drug dealers trying to cuckoo him.
Yeah, but there's a window of opportunity. Number 19 are also on holiday for 2 weeks, and it's Portugal. and they can't get back because it's gone from amber to red. Yes, that gives us some breathing space, Sid, doesn't it? Time to work some of that old Hancock magic. Here he comes now, Hancock. He's walked in from the station with his suitcases. Hello there, stranger. Lovely sunny day, isn't it?
Good evening. It is sunny, but it's not as sunny as where I've been. Anyway, you know me. I'm your next door neighbour, Connie Webster. I've just come back from Australia.
You're right, Sid. He's the gullible sort. I think we've got him. That must have been nice. I've always fancied going out there myself, but I tend to get as far as the airport and come straight back.
That's a waste of time. Why do you do that then?
It's just a little joke. A boomerang. You know, Australian. Come straight back.
I thought you meant it. Oh, silly me. I'll believe anything people tell me sometimes. You must think I'm very gullible. You're my next door neighbour, aren't you? Inspector Hancock, isn't it?
Yes, that's me. I am Inspector Hancock, but I don't think we're acquainted. Pleased to meet you, Mr...
You must know me. I've lived here 30 years. I'm Mr. Webster, your next door neighbour. I just told you, didn't I? Don't you recognise me?
Mr. Hancock has lived at number 23 all his life. You must be thinking of somewhere else. Neither of us recognise you.
Do you think so? Perhaps I got off at the wrong station. All the roads in Surrey look the same, don't they? You'd think I know my own road after 25 years, wouldn't you?
Yes, all the roads in Surrey look the same. Have you tried Esher, Mr. Webster?
Ooh, is there a number 21 railway cuttings Esher then?
I expect there is. That explains it, doesn't it?
But I recognised you, didn't I? Perhaps I remember you from Esher.
Yes, as a matter of fact I used to. Perhaps that's where you remember me from.
No, stop messing about. I'm sure I lived here. Where's number 21 gone?
Look here, mate, I've just told you. You don't live here.
There's no need to get cross. I'm doing my best. I need something to jog my memory.
Where's that hammer, Sid? I know you're trying your hardest, Mr. Webster, but perhaps you actually lived next door at number 19.
Oh, it's definitely number 21. I better look and make sure it's still there. No, you're right. There's no number 21, only a number 19. I think I must live there instead. I must have made a mistake. Oh, I am a silly Billy. You'd think I'd know where I lived after all these years, wouldn't you?
Well, we all make mistakes, don't we? No harm done. You must live at number 19, that's all. Well, Mr. Webster, you better get your suitcases back home into number 19. Put your feet up and have a nice cup of tea and forget about this number 21. It probably never ever existed, did it? Or if it did exist, it might have been bombed in the war. You've had a dose of good fortune, me old mate.
Thanks for reminding me. I could have been hurt, couldn't I? And I'm still in one piece, thank God. I'll go and let myself in.
I'll give him 30 seconds, Hancock, and he'll be right back.
Me key doesn't fit. It's broken off in the lock. Can I ever sit down in your place, please? I need to have a good think. Something bordering on the supernatural seems to have happened. My whole life seems to have been turned upside down. I looked through the window. All my furniture seems to have gone.
You're shaking, Mr. Webster. Come inside and have a chat.
Please, I'd love a nice cup of tea to settle my nerves, Inspector Hancock. Wait a minute. I recognise some of the furniture in here.
You can't do. I told Sid to take all your furniture down the charity shop. I mean, all this furniture comes from the local charity shops. We like to do our bit, you know.
Well, it is my furniture, you know. You took my furniture to the charity shop, didn't you?
I don't know, but it wasn't us, was it, Hancock?
Thank you for the tea. Oh, you are kind people. It's good to know there's still people like you around who will help a stranger out that they don't know. I'll have milk and 3 lumps, please.
Shall I hit him with the hammer now, Hancock? Where would you like the lumps, Mr. Webster?
Give me flaming tea, of course.
Sorry, Sid, I don't think that will be necessary. Mr. Webster's coming around to our way of thinking. So how was Australia? Still plenty of kangaroos, I hope.
Yes, it's a huge country. You know, there's plenty of room. You can really stretch your legs out. There's room for a man to grow.
So you're thinking of moving there, are you? You could get a nice place. You won't need an house here then, will ya?
I'd get homesick. I don't want to live there, I want to live here.
Where did you say you lived again, Mr. Webster? Australia, isn't it?
No, I live here next to you, of course.
Oh dear, he's having a relapse, Sid. Repeat after me, Mr. Webster. I live at number 19. I live at number 19. Where's that hammer, Sid?
No, it's all coming flooding back to me. I live at number 21.
But we've just established that number 21 doesn't actually exist, Mr. Webster. We don't want people thinking you're a bit doolally now, do we?
No, I'm not mad. I must live at number 21. This is number 23, right? And therefore next to that must be number 21. It's simple. I've got a logical mind, I have. Not the distorted mind of a lunatic.
It may appear logical to you, sir, but next door to here is number 19, and there isn't a silly old number 21, is there? It's causing a lot of trouble. That number 21, isn't it, Sid?
So what happened? Did the post office lose count and go from number 23 to number 19?
They must have done, mustn't they? It's happened. Look at number 10 Downing Street. Next door is number 36. That's the post office for you. A law unto themselves. Anything goes.
No, I'm not happy. I'm going to call the police. Someone's stolen my house.
Look no further, Colin. We are the police. Hancock's heroes. We'll look after you. A couple of paracetamol and you'll be right as rain.
In that case, they stole it right from under your nose. Why didn't you notice?
We have to have our rest and recreation, don't forget. I'm afraid the minute we step through our front door, we're off duty. Did you see anything out of the ordinary, Sergeant James? I think I would have noticed someone stealing the house, Inspector Hancock. Don't you?
Wait a minute. Your house seems a lot bigger than I remember it.
Oh, absolute nonsense. You're mistaken, Mr. Webster. It's a bit of a TARDIS in here, but it's the same size it's always been.
So what's behind that sheet?
What? That sheet over there? Nothing.
If I lift the sheet up, what do I see? That's my house.
So that's where it got to.
Oh, thank you for looking after it for me. So the room we're sitting in must be an extra room I didn't know I had.
No, this bit is definitely number 23. I know my own house.
But it's part of mine now. I'll contact my solicitor first thing in the morning and you can move out.
Now look what you've done, Sid.